Morning all, so it's Sunday the 18th of February 2024 and as usual I'm busy at Kattegat clearing the land and trying to get us ready for building some ace Viking structures. So where we're up to at the moment is I've managed to take the polytunnel down, managed to scrape out all of the topsoil. Terrible time of the year to do it, but needs must, time's pressing on. Managed to get all this topsoil dug out. We've got a little patch underneath this pile here to do yet, but nearly there. Just got nowhere to put it at the moment. So the initial plan was to take down, move or remove these fruit trees that are running across the back where the polytunnel used to be. They are nice fruiting trees, so I've made a decision to leave them where they are for now, and hopefully we'll get the longhouse squeezed in alongside them so we don't have to actually take them down. It would be a shame because this cherry tree, it blossoms absolutely beautiful, and it'd be quite nice that over the side of the longhouse. So the plan is to shift the longhouse slightly further to the right to clear those. And yep, so dug a drain, however contaminated it, so it's a bit blocked up at the moment, so I need to dig all of that out again. And then we need to get rid of all this topsoil into the field, which is too wet for the transit at the moment, and the transit bed is a little bit rusty, so the mud just sticks to it and it doesn't tip very well. So it's an absolute nightmare shifting topsoil this time of the year. Yep, the polytunnel's in bits over there. That's going to a new home shortly. Obviously we're pressing on to bird nesting season, so I'd like to make sure that any work that might interrupt them was done and out of the way in good time. So I've taken the opportunity this morning to get in here with the digger and scrape off the top level of this hedge between the project and the field where the car park's going to be. So that's going to be the car park, and this is going to be the bridge over into the Viking settlement. So as you can see from the levels, we're not too far off. It'll be a nice little bridge over there, which will still be wheelchair accessible. I've taken very great care with the digger this morning not to damage any of the roots on the oaks. Fortunately their roots, because they're up on the banks, are going pretty much straight down and into the bank itself, so I haven't taken that much off. Most of it was all been burrowed through by rabbits anyway, so it was pretty much hollow. As soon as I touched it, it just fell apart. So we're pretty much there now. We just need to get some land draining along the culvert here on this side, and a bigger land drain on the other side once I get hold of some to go on the other side, because I do want this bridge to be like a stone hard standing structure sort of thing, rather than a initially I was going to do it in timber, but I think it will be nicer if it's actually stone and nicely laid out with a radius out into the project itself. So we'll probably go with stone on that. Our two lovely oak trees. I've just got to do a bit more tidying up. This grizzly is horrible stuff, hate it. It provides absolutely no habitat for wildlife. It's not indigenous to the Isle of Man. It's planted everywhere for privacy and stuff like that, but personally hate it. Other jobs to do. We had a tree come down during the last storm, nearly landed on my pickup, but the fall's been broken by this cobnut tree, coppice. So I'm going to get the digger up and ladder on that and start clearing some of these branches off and get it all cut back down, turn into logs and firewood. So that's another job to do. The next thing is going to be getting rid of all of these sheds. Well, they're absolutely full of tools and materials and so on and so forth, and I've literally got nowhere to put them at the moment. So the big shout out is, if anybody's got a container or an old old wagon or something like that with a luton back on it that they don't mind lending the project for a few months, so I could just empty everything into, get it out of the way, so we can get all of this lot flattened. Then we'll be at our blank canvas in this yard finally. So, and then we can really start thinking about getting everything built. Time is pressing because I misread the conditions on the planning that we got in 2022, July 2022. And it stipulates that everything was broken into phases. So the storage yard, the tool shed, the workshop, and the access into the field was all phase one. Phase two was the longhouse, the kitchen, the Viking trading post and the forge. The stipulation is that phase two has to be completed by July this year. We can apply for a variance on the conditions, which is in the works at the moment. We're in talks with DEFRA about that, because honestly I don't want to rush this. There's a fast, right and cheap, and you can only ever have 2 of them, and I want it right. It's got to be absolutely right, and preferably it's got to be cheap as well, since this isn't a money making operation. So it won't be fast, simply put. So the 2-year condition that they put on us is very restrictive at the moment. But as I say, we got the original plan, and there's no reason why they wouldn't allow an extension on it. We've got very valid reasons. First one being, for 10 months of the last 2, the ground's been generally too wet to do any work. Also materials. It was only in December that we got permission for the Barony Farm estate for trees from their plantations that they need to replant. So all of these things take time. And I've always said it's going to be an organic project. I want it to be as absolutely as environmentally friendly as possible in the build. So, you know, the good things take time to get. So that's where we're up to. I better get on. So the next update, hopefully we've got some big news regarding the change in direction for the actual project itself. So stay tuned. Cheers, guys.